The Pima County Sheriff is facing mounting criticism about how he's handling taxpayer dollars and public safety.
The largest union says the sheriff has created a staffing crisis with no end in sight. Sheriff Mark Napier is out campaigning for re-election in 2020, telling his staff that he's seeking 2 more terms. But the union says the sheriff has made critical mistakes and members have lost confidence in his ability to turn the troubles around. Our months-long investigation continues into how the sheriff is managing his department and taxpayer dollars, and some of the statements he's made contradict what we found. Mark Napier runs the 7th largest sheriff's department in the nation. The population is now at 1 million and growing, but the staffing level is shrinking, the union says, to a critically low point. The severe shortage is pushing deputies and corrections officers to their limits with no end in sight. Attorney Steve Portell represents the union.
The attrition rate in the department is unsustainable, the staffing levels are critical, and that is all Sheriff Napier's fault.
And the union points to a critical decision the sheriff made his first month in office when he began slashing the budget. Let's rewind to 2017 to understand what happened. The county administrator, Chuck Huckleberry, had sounded the alarm. The department was operating in the red, $5.6 million. Napier took immediate action. Listen to what he recently said to a group at a Democratic Party meeting.
We cut the deficit to about $2.5 million from a projected $6 or $7 million in 6 months, which I was very proud of.
In the first 30 days, Napier slashed on-call and overtime costs, reduced executive staffing, and this is the critical decision. He canceled deputy and corrections officer academies. The union says that was a big mistake because the department historically loses 1 deputy and 4 to 6 correction officers per 2-week pay period, and the academies must constantly run to replenish the ranks. Sergeant Kevin Kabisky represents the union.
So if you stop academies or you stop putting people through, that has a negative effect that will take years to fix.
In an email to us, Napier wrote, "Lower field staffing is not due to our slowing or neglecting hiring." The union says that's not true. Canceling 1 deputy academy resulted in the automatic shortage of at least 26 deputies by the end of Napier's first year. Insiders say Napier canceled at least 2 corrections academies, putting him significantly behind in hiring. The jail is currently down 51 corrections officers and losing nearly 5 per pay period. The union says that's unprecedented. And the attrition troubles continue for deputies. The union says the department is now losing 2 deputies per pay period.
The budget stops with the sheriff. He's made choices that has caused his department to suffer runaway attrition.
With little chance of bouncing back anytime soon, says the union, Napier admits the department is struggling to attract new hires.
We're actively recruiting. It's just that we're simply having a hard time finding qualified people to become members of our department.
In part, he says, because of a robust job market. In an April 2019 email to KGA 9, Napier said many larger law enforcement agencies across the country are facing similar challenges with respect to recruitment. Napier has a different perspective on the budget decisions he's made. He calls it being fiscally responsible. Once the sheriff erased the 2017 deficit his first year in office, he finished 2018 in the black, $5.5 million, nearly 4% under budget. The savings mainly in personnel costs.
So we took that $5.5 million, which I gave back to Mr. Huckleberry as part of the general fund, and put $4.8 million of that back toward compensation increases for deputies and corrections officers, which seemed to be a good plan to me.
The sheriff didn't stop at $5 million. Napier informed staff in April that the department is currently trending about $4 million in the black.
That's really unheard of in public government. And we did that by simply making real smart decisions about our executive staff, hiring decisions.
Unheard of, the union argues, because it's not smart. It's too much, too fast, and on the backs of the deputies. The union says it's contributed to the eroding morale and high turnover rate within the department.
What they're banking on is that the younger people they hire, and there's actually some memos that Mr. Huckleberry has authored that talk about it's less expensive to hire brand new people and bring them to the department.
This is one of them, dated January 26, 2018. It's right here. The county administrator writes, in the future, we will need to be able to attract new employees to become deputy sheriffs and corrections officers to keep pension costs down. In other words,
we don't have to contribute as much to their retirements under new calculations passed by the legislature in 2012. So this leaving out of people in the middle who provide the backbone of a department is not a mistake.
the county administrator stressed the millions in savings must continue each year under the new compensation plan. In 2019 emails to staff, Napier stated that his primary focus has been raising entry-level pay for deputies and corrections officers to make the department more competitive and increase recruitment. The union says it's all been according to plan. Huckleberry wrote in 2018 that the new compensation plan will increasingly cost higher amounts in future years, as much as $9.1 million more annually.
He said he would take care of the people who were experienced in the middle, who had all that important knowledge and information to help run the department. He's driven those people away.
The union says while Napier neglects the mid-range deputies, he's taking care of those in the top tier, his administrative staff. Here's what he said just weeks ago.
Our current administrative staff is much thinner than when I took office in January of 2017. We've not increased our administrative staff.
The union says that's not true. We checked. We received this document from the Sheriff's Department detailing Napier's administrative staff. It reveals the numbers are now higher than when he took office, from 14 commanders to 16, now costing more than $2 million. And some of his top command received substantial salary boosts, ranging from 15 to 21% around the start of 2019. That budget decision, the union says, is a hard pill to swallow.
You have to budget appropriately, and this is not handling the budget appropriately. He's driving people away.
Creating a crisis, the union says, with no end in sight.
I have reached out repeatedly to the sheriff requesting a sit-down interview on the staffing shortage, and he's declined each time. Napier told me it wouldn't be in his best interest. He's only responded to the staffing shortage in emails and texts. We will continue to investigate and follow any developments. We also have a full comprehensive report with much more details, data, and documents on our website, kgun9.com.
And I'm sure this is not the last we've heard of this. Interesting, 2 more terms for Sheriff Napier.
That's what
he's going to run for.
Yes.
All right, Val. Well done. Thank you.